Our first stretch is going to be the leg out adductor stretch. So focusing on those hips, focusing on those groins, a fantastic stretch to help prevent groin injuries, help recover from groin injuries, and get a good estimate of how flexible your hips and groins are. So to perform this stretch, we're going to perform it one leg at a time, but all of our body is going to be involved in every single movement. Our core, our leg strength, keeping our back straight, our focus is all going to be involved here. So to perform this stretch, we're going to get into a wide stance position, bringing our feet as wide as, not as wide as we can, but a lot wider than shoulder width, so that you have the ability to sit into one side and be able to stretch your groin, your adductor muscles. So from this position, if I wanted to start by stretching my left leg, I'll actually be leaning to my right, or I say leaning, but I think of it more as sitting to my right. This is a very easy exercise stretch to perform in the wrong way. So a few things to focus on here. So from this starting position, I'm going to focus on sitting diagonally backwards to my right. Not necessarily focusing on leaning to my right. I'm going to be focusing on sitting behind the right side of my body. So I try and imagine that there's a nice little stool sitting right behind me, right behind my right knee, and my goal is to get the right cheek of my buttocks to touch that chair. So that imaginary chair, I focus on it and I'm sitting towards it. Once I'm in that position, you'll feel the left leg adductors stretching. Why it's important to focus here? Because you're going to need some length strength to hold you in this position to be able to stretch out your left side of your body, your left adductors. So you'll need to make sure that you have the strength to hold yourself up. Again, some of you might not need to get deep into that seat. You might even not need to imagine that stool sitting behind you. It might be enough for you simply to bend your knee a little bit. But the focus here should be on not bending your knee forward, but actually sitting backwards slightly. By sitting backwards slightly, your knee will bend and you'll feel that adductor stretch. The other thing to focus on is the leg that's being stretched. You want your toes pointing forward. You do not want your toes pointing outward or inward. You want them straight, pointing forward. For the supporting leg, so in my case, my right leg, I actually want my toes not directly pointing forward, but slightly in an angle outwards to allow our knee to open up a little bit more comfortably. So on my left leg, I have my toes pointing forward. My right toes are slightly angled outward. I'm going to focus on sitting diagonally backwards, which causes my knee to bend and causes my adductor muscles to stretch. And the deeper I sit into that stretch, the closer I get to that imaginary stool behind me, the more I will feel my adductor muscles stretching. You can, if you need to, even lean on your supporting leg. I would recommend to focus on keeping your core straight, your upper body straight, your back straight, and just focus on that strength of your supporting leg. Focus on that sitting backwards motion and focus on those adductor muscles being stretched. To perform this stretch on the other side, you can see that now my toes are pointing slightly angled outward. These, my right toes on the leg that's going to be stretched right now, are pointing directly forward. I'm going to be focused on sitting diagonally backwards behind my left leg, which will result in my knee bending. I can now feel the stretch in my adductor muscles. If I'm ready to go deeper into it and increase that intensity of the stretch, I'll just need to sit backwards. And then, as I mentioned, from here you can lean. I recommend to keep your chest up as up and high as possible, core tucked in, back straight, and you'll get a fantastic stretch here. Once you're ready to leave this position, you'll rely on the strength of your supporting leg to simply straighten itself out and push yourself up. You're back to that wide stance, neutral position. From here, you can simply bring your feet closer together. And that's how we perform the leg out adductor stretch.
If you liked this video and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe below and don't forget to hit the notification button.